I'm Gurleen and this is Bhubaneswar in Orissa. Odisha's 480-kilometer-long coastline does have many lovely beaches, but there's also so much more to this fascinating state. Over the next few days, I'll be meeting some wonderful people.
Namaste.
With them, I'll be wandering through the woods, exploring ancient ruins, bird watching, feasting,
Really different flavors.
and so much more. Where's the best place to start a holiday in Odisha? The top choice, the default option, the coast, of course. I'm at a nature camp near a World Heritage Site, the Konark Sun Temple, built in the 13th century. The main temple is shaped like a chariot with huge, elaborately carved wheels. But for now, it's time to take off on my journey through Odisha. To start with, I'm meeting Sebastian and Kaylin, who are waiting to take me paddleboarding.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Sebastian.
Hi.
He's Kylian.
I'm Gurleen.
Your telephone number?
Okay.
Today we're
To be able to get on a surfboard or a paddleboard, first, I need to ramp up my sense of balance. Well, if even an expert like Sebastian goes for a toss, it's got to be tough.
Yes, I can.
Believe me, my grandmother in coma can do that.
Yeah, right. I'm getting the hang of this, finally. I'm an expert now.
With respect
You are
for me
ready
now.
for the water.
All aboard now. And we're heading down to the waterline. I'll be starting with something easy-ish. And since I haven't done this before, I get a life vest.
All set.
I'm taking it step by step. Step 1, flat on my belly. Step 2, I'm getting set. What do you know? I have an audience. And step 3, it's a go. Not bad, eh? Now this is a new side to Sebastian that I didn't know of. That was fun. A short drive away is Puri, known for its historic Jagannath temple. Built in the 11th century, it is one of the holiest pilgrimage spots for Hindus. The complex is spread over 420,000 square feet. Apart from the main temple, there are 30 temples dedicated to various other Hindu deities. I'm spending the night in Puri, and tomorrow morning, I'll be heading back to the beach. Bright and early at the Chandrabhaga beach. I'm waiting to meet Saddam Hussein, my windsurfing instructor. That looks easy enough. Let me try it out. I was so wrong. This is really tough. Not fair. He made it look like a cakewalk. Come on. I need to get on top of this and stay there. Victory! Finally. Clearly, my water sports skills need a lot of work. But on land, I'm quite comfortable. Now that's more like it. Next stop on my route is Raghurajpur, about 12 kilometers from Puri. This idyllic village is pretty much like its counterparts all along the coast of Orissa. Except it's famous for its rich heritage of art.
Perhaps the most famous art form here, the colorful and vibrant Pattachitra.
I'm here to meet Gangadhar Maharana from the older generation of masters of this style. I am so lucky to get to learn how these beautiful paintings are made.
तो आप ये किस चीज पे पेंट कर रहे हैं?
ये जो ये कॉटन कपड़ा है, उसके बाद
Cotton cloth is coated with a paste that contains powdered tamarind seeds. On drying, it becomes hard and is then polished with stones to create an even surface. This becomes the base, which is cut to the size needed for a painting. Natural products like this red stone are powdered and used to create the paint itself.
कलर एक नेचुरल कलर है, ये बहुत टाइम माने लॉन्ग लास्टिंग है, कम से कम 1000-1500 साल तक ऐसे भी रुक सकते हैं. ये कोई टाइम
That's a seriously long time. Well, here's my chance to color between the lines.
At this rate, I'm going to be an artist soon. So you see what I mean?
Actually, with a little help. Honestly, with a lot of help.
वो तो बहुत अच्छा हो, हमारे तरफ से हम आपको उसको दे दिया आपको.
Thank you so much. आपने मुझे इतना सब कुछ सिखाया. मुझे आपसे मिलके बहुत अच्छा लगा. Thank you.
Back on the road to the capital of Orissa, Bhubaneswar.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Grewal. Welcome to Bhubaneswar.
Thank you so much.
Really nice to have you here. Please come.
Thank you so much. What a welcome.
It's been a wonderful day today, and I'm looking forward to a relaxing evening. Next, a journey through Orissa's history, learning the graceful Odissi and some incredible Oriya food.
So yummy.
Lace Max Crunch. Max Taste. Now in India.
I'm Gurleen, and I'm vacationing in Orissa.
Today I'm in Bhubaneswar, the capital, and I'm here waiting for a friend who'll come and show me around. I guess she'll be here any moment, so I better get ready fast.
Diksha Tiwari is a journalist who's grown up here. She's planned to show me the place where a hard-fought battle changed the course of Indian history. But first, we check out one of the most visited spots in this city. Lingaraj was built in the 11th century, but it's said that fragments of a 7th century temple that once stood here can be found incorporated into this comparatively newer structure. This region was originally known as Kalinga, and the Lingaraj temple has the most intricate and mature form of Kalinga temple architecture.
You know, this is the Kalingan architecture. You can see it's very beautifully made. This is made of laterite and sandstone.
The main structure here is a 55-meter tall Shiva temple. Most temples in Bhubaneswar are preserved merely as architectural monuments. But at Lingaraj, there is a thriving tradition of worship. We continue our journey back in time on the outskirts of the city. In 261 BC, a bloody battle was fought here. The mighty Emperor Ashoka, ruler of the Mauryan Empire, defeated the army of Kalinga. Hundreds of thousands lost their lives on both sides, and it's said that the Daya river had turned red with blood.
We are at Dholi now. Dholi is famous for these rock edicts of Ashoka. So this was where he had a transformation of heart.
This is where, overwhelmed by remorse at the death and suffering, Emperor Ashoka had turned to Buddhism and dedicated the rest of his life to the welfare of his subjects. He left instructions inscribed in Brahmi script on a rock here. These royal proclamations, known as edicts, declared that all his subjects were his children. Local administrators were directed to rule with gentleness and justice.
So this is, the top of the rock edict, and this is the rock-cut elephant.
The elephant is a common Buddhist motif, and it's believed that this one was put here to draw the attention of the public to this spot. Close by is another famous Buddhist landmark, the Shanti Stupa, built in 1972. Historically, Odisha is said to have been a major center for Buddhist learning, even bigger than the better-known Nalanda University. But I'm waiting to learn more about that later. For now, we head back into the center of town. The executive chef at my hotel is a friend of Diksha's. What I didn't know was that he was cooking up a storm for me to get a taste of traditional Oriya cuisine.
What I've cooked today is very, very traditional Oriya food. So what I've got you for now in the local terminology it is called as a kodali bhaja.
Sounds exotic, but in simple English, that's fried bananas.
Really different flavors, unlike what I eat, honestly.
What a feast! Fried spinach, dalma, that's dal cooked with vegetables, sweet and sour tomato chutney, pan-roasted jumbo prawns, and what's this?
This is a pumpkin flour which is spattered and pan-fried and is eaten just like this.
I did not know I'm eating a pumpkin flour. So is this like typically Oriya flavor?
I would say absolutely, because the thing is, in Odisha, the cuisine is such that the spices carries a very rustic flavor in the food itself. You don't use too much in powdered form of a spice into the food. Rather, you keep it very coarse, which itself gives a lot of taste onto the food.
What a lovely meal that was. And now, Diksha has to get back to work while I get back to exploring more of this city. Khandagiri and Udaygiri hills in another part of town have 33 rock-cut caves. In ancient times, these were used as retreats by Jain ascetics.
Imagine the life of the monks who lived here. A stone floor as a bed and a stone ledge as a pillow.
There are 18 caves in Udaygiri and 15 in the opposite hill, Khandagiri. They were said to have been cut into the hillside by King Kharavela, the ruler of Kalinga around the 1st century BCE. This place is called Hathi Gumfa. At some point, the front of the elephant broke off and it still lies scattered all over. The inscription here is about the life of King Kharavela and his many military conquests.
I believe all these rooms were connected. Hello? Hello? Something said from one cave would be heard in the other. Hello?
Even today, with so many visitors here, this place is so peaceful.
I wonder how this place looked way back in time, with a small set of monks praying and meditating.
I'd love to stay here longer, but it's closing time now, and my evening is dedicated to dance. Sujata Mahapatra is one of the best-known Odissi dancers in India. She belongs to the renowned guru, the late Kelu Charan Mahapatra's family. She runs a dance academy now to carry forward the legacy of Odissi.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar. So please be seated, and they will be doing some steps and hand gestures,
Okay.
which will also be
Learn?
interested. Yes, you will learn. Pataka, Tripataka, Ardha Pataka, Kartari Mukha, Mayurashya, Ardha Chandra, Arala, Shukatunda, Mushti, Shikhara. This Sikhara Hasta looks very easy, but in dance we use showing as a man. And when we show the woman, we show this mudra. And Pataka, the first hand, which is like a flag. Show everybody.
Classical dance looks deceptively simple, but there's so much more than the hand gestures. There are also elements of acting or abhinaya and complicated footwork.
Double. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1.
She's so elegant that she makes it all look so easy. And she's agreed to show me how the performance transforms when the dancer is in full costume and makeup. She's so graceful. I'm spellbound. I have another lovely day in Orissa all planned out. Today, I'm going to what is called the Buddhist Corridor, a set of excavated ruins that validate the huge presence of Buddhism here in ancient times. There are 3 main sites here, and my destination is Ratnagiri, which was a Mahavihara, or University for Buddhist Learning.
Orissa's history as a major center of Buddhism is fascinating. I'm waiting to meet someone who's going to take me to the remains of some ancient monasteries and stupas. Cannot wait.
Author Anil Dheer has explored the length and breadth of Orissa. He's also written about his amazing experiences in his book. The biggest structure in Ratnagiri is this monastery with a stunningly beautiful doorway.
You see the elephant motif, it's a very strong motif of Buddhism. It appears in so many places. This is one of the few, which have revived. They're intact. It's just in the pristine state like it was before.
The reason for those elephants to be there?
Elephant in Buddhism is a symbol of peace, it's a symbol of strength, it's a symbol of solidity,
And so is lotus, I guess.
Yes, lotus is. And now we step into history. This was the monastery where the monks sat and they meditated. This spanned 800 years, from the 5th century to the 13th century. It evolved, They made alterations, they made changes, and they added statues. New forms of Buddhism came in, They made some radical changes in that. This is 800 years of history. It is like a book.
It's amazing that this structure has survived to this extent, several hundreds of years after the decline of Buddhism here, around the 12th or the 13th century.
The planning was such, there was no waterlogging. It's such a multi-layered chamber. The whole water would come here. There is a drainage channel. It would, it would just flow into it, and then it would drain out. This whole channel has survived. It was covered here, and the whole water is to go down the hill. One of the reasons why we still see what we see today is because of this good planning they had.
It rains really heavy here.
Yes, it rains really heavy. It rains for 8 months a year.
On the periphery of the structure is a single row of rooms.
These were the monks' quarters, or probably, the guru's quarters, where he used to stay. This was a central part of the Pushpagiri University complex, This is the complex which Yung Sang came looking for. And this played a very vital role in the spread of Buddhism to the entire South Asian region.
Huan Sang, the famous traveling historian from China, came here in the 7th century and has written vivid accounts of how Buddhism flourished in the region. A short walk away, on top of a small hill, there is an impressive stupa from the 9th century.
The Mahastupa of the Ratnagiri complex. These Mahastupas generally, it's believed that they held some relic, maybe of the Buddha, or maybe of another big guru. This whole stupa complex is spread over 8 centuries. You can see brick stupas, you can see stone stupa, you can see carved stupas, votive stupas, small, big, of every size. There will be hardly any place in the world where you would see such a spread. It's a whole panorama. It's like a history book of Buddhism in its peak period.
This site is said to have one of the largest number of stupas excavated at any single spot in India. I'm keen to visit some of the places that Anil has written about. I've extracted a promise that he'll join me again later on my journey. Next on my journey, I'll be meeting a Buddhist guru and witnessing a fascinating mask dance. I'll also be meeting a baby croc and its hungry cousin and learning some intricate crafts.
Not that easy. Not that easy.
Lace Max Crunch.
I'm Gurleen Grewal and I'm on a road trip in Orissa. Today I'm heading to a 675 square kilometer wildlife sanctuary called the Bhitarkanika National Park. The park has an estuary with 2 rivers and a rich mangrove forest within it. It's home to several species of birds and mammals, but perhaps it is best known for its big saltwater crocodiles. My destination is Dangmal, where a government research facility has worked wonders for their conservation. Research assistant Vijay Kumar Das is going to be my guide. That's a green bee eater on a flame of the forest tree. The vegetation keeps changing noticeably until we are in a thick mangrove forest.
ये वर्ल्ड में जहाँ 72 स्पेसीज का जो है मैंग्रोव है, हमारे इधर 63 स्पेसीज है.
Some of the species found in the mangrove are rare and endangered. The wet soil here contains low oxygen, and so the trees have aerial roots that are able to absorb it directly from the air. That's a woodpecker, actually a black-rumped flameback. I'm really excited about seeing all these rare birds here.
ये कॉल सुनाई दे रहा है उसका, मैंग्रोव का. ये सुनिए.
पास में ही है ना?
हाँ, ये पास में ही है. जो मैंग्रोव पीटा आपने देखा, ये हाईली एंडेंजर्ड बर्ड है और ये नियरली थ्रेटेंड स्पीसीज है. आप बहुत लकी है जो कि आपको मिल गया.
I got very lucky.
The destruction of the mangrove pita's natural habitat around the world threatens the small population that remains today. Crabs of different kinds forage on the shore as we get on a boat in our life vests. This river was known to have the world's largest crocodile until a bigger one was found in Philippines more recently. There are 8 varieties of kingfishers here. This one is a white-collared kingfisher and here's a brown-winged kingfisher. Deer and egrets are also quite common near the waterline.
Manta lizard, right there.
Then Vijay spots a huge reptile.
crocodile, bada crocodile.
Wow. Some of these crocs grow to over 20 feet and males are known to be fiercely protective of their territory. The Forest Department hatchery here has rescued the critically endangered population of saltwater crocodiles. They've reared and released over 1,700 of these crocodiles into the wild.
उसको केयरफुल निकालना पड़ता है. थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो जाएगा तो कर दे. अभी ये 2 year and करीब 4 month हो गए. ये बहुत डेंजर है. ये देखिए वो कैसे हैंडलिंग कर रहा है. वो केयरफुली हैंडलिंग करना पड़ता है.
अब आपको डर नहीं लगता इन सब चीजों से? नहीं.
इस साल इसको अगस्त में हम रिलीज करेंगे.
अब ये सब कुछ खुद कर सकता है.
हाँ,
खाना खुद ढूंढ सकता है.
खाने
खुद सर्वाइव कर सकता है.
हाँ, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा इसको.
I would live here forever if I could. But there's so much more to experience in Orissa and it's time to move on. So now I'm heading to Barpali, a small town in Bargarh district near Sambalpur. Barpali isn't an ordinary place. It's best known for ikat, a traditional tie and dye weaving style used to make saris. And it has a sizable concentration of national award-winning craftsmen. To show you what I meant by a sizable concentration of award winners, let me introduce you to Dev Kishore Meher.
The family I'm going to meet has 4 national awards. Dev Kishore, his father, his mother and his brother. देव किशोर जी
नमस्ते
क्या हाल है आपके
बहुत अच्छा है
4 नेशनल अवार्ड हैं आपके परिवार के पास
यस
तो चले
चलिए
Dev's family runs a training workshop to pass on their talent to the society. A group of students learn to tie knots on punched threads and I get to join them.
इसको इधर नीचे से घुमाइए 3 बार घुमाना है इसको 3 बार घुमाने के बाद उसको एक गांठ बांध दिया वहाँ पे ऐसे पकड़िएगा
This is precision work in a very specific pattern as per the design.
Not that easy. Not that easy. कितना टाइम लगता है इसको कंप्लीट करने में एक को
ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऐसे भी 1 घंटे के अंदर दोनों तरफ का
मुझे तो नहीं रखोगे ना आप ऐसे कभी काम पे मैं तो बहुत स्लो कर रही हूँ
This piece is done finally. After the knotting is done, the threads are sent here to the dyeing center. Dave tells me that first, the threads have to be washed out. Only natural dyes are used to color the threads.
तो अब आप इसको सुखाएंगे
हाँ इसको सुखाएंगे
When the dyed threads are dry, the knots are opened and you see that the parts of thread that were covered in knots have remained in their original color. Then, the final stage. After being dyed in a specific pattern, the thread is then painstakingly hand-woven by these artists. Depending on the intricacy of design, it could take days or even weeks to create one sari.
अभी ये देखिए साड़ी का पूरा फाइनल है ये
After so much of work, I think it pays off. It looks so beautiful.
Next up, another art form that has flourished in Orissa.
The Borpali is best known for ikat work, but there are other crafts too. Time to get my hands dirty.
Like Dev, Manabodha Rana too is a national award-winning craftsman. Though his art form is of a more earthy variety. He takes time out from running his pottery class to give me some hands-on experience. River clay is kneaded like dough. A deft spin of the wheel.
थोड़ा पानी लगाइए
And there's a pot. Ta-da! Once the pottery dries, it is left to bake in an open hearth.
#850°C. It's that hot. We've been waiting to see this. We've waited for it to cool down. Now I'm dying to see what's going to come out.
We have butterfly.
Garam hai baby.
By and by, a range of beautiful pottery emerges. And I get to take some of these home.
Thank you so much. मुझे इतना सब कुछ सिखाने के लिए और इतने सारे गिफ्ट्स देने के लिए हम दोबारा मिलेंगे. Thank you.
Next on my travels through Orissa, peaceful Buddhist prayers, a lovely unspoiled beach, and some more of being one with nature.
Lay's Max Crunch, Max Taste, now in India.
I'm Gurleen and I'm on an amazing journey through Orissa. My route to Jirang takes me through Daringabadi. The terrain gets hilly and the drive even more scenic. It's a good place to take a little break and just chill. Oh, and I'm a little hungry. So I'm going to have a go at some delicious looking street food. A rice pancake, sort of like a dosa. But here, it has a different name.
Chocolate pitha. So yummy.
Jirang is in the Chandragiri district, and the people who live here are a little different from the rest of the state.
I'm in the middle of Orissa, and there's a Tibetan settlement here. They've been here for years, and now they've made this place their home.
Tibetans here are Buddhists. Turning these prayer wheels is said to harmonize the environment, increase compassion and peace, and earn me some great merit. I'm meeting Khenpo Pama, the administrator of the Rigon Thupten Mindoling Monastery. The 10,000 square feet monastery complex was inaugurated in 2010 by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Inside the 5-story Tibetan-style structure, there is a huge golden Buddha with statues of Avalokiteshvara and Padmasambhava on either side. It's the largest Buddhist monastery in South Asia. 200 monks live in the rooms around the temple and study Buddhist scriptures in the vast library.
Here we have collected of Gautam Buddha teachings, which is called Kanju, 108 volumes. This textbook is very special. All the way took from Tibet, and now is, I think, more than 400 years old.
More than 400 years old.
After prayers at the temple, Khenpo takes me to meet the spiritual head of the monastery, the Gaitrul Jigme Rinpoche.
What's this puja all about? What's the main purpose behind this?
The performance of dances that is going to follow here today and tomorrow is a celebration of victory over aggression and destruction, basically, in the form of color and dance. And this is a display of energy which is created out of wisdom and compassion.
You're far away from your original land. How's it here?
I was born here, I grew up here. I feel myself half Oriya, or Indian, I would say, and half Tibetan. So, in a way, I don't miss much, actually, because we have so much freedom here.
Then, to the sound of horns and crash of cymbals, monks with masks and colorful costumes step out. The dance consists of several stages, some slow and others quite energetic. What a day it has been. A new day now, and it's time to get back on the trail and see what today has in store for me. But first, a quick stop over at Khosura next door. Though this waterfall isn't that large, Odisha boasts of some pretty majestic ones. My next destination, 200 kilometers away, is a wetland that is a birder's paradise.
I'm in Mangla Jodi in Khurda district, and I'm looking forward to meeting some birds.
Bird photographer Panchami Ukil, also known as Manu, has travelled here from Bhubaneswar to take me birding.
Hi, Manu. Hi, Goodly. Welcome to Mangla Jodi. Thanks. Come.
The pleasant weather here in winter attracts thousands of migratory birds. About 150 different species visit Odisha every year from as far away as Russia, the Caspian Sea and Mongolia.
Those are the purple moorhens. These birds live here. This is an Asian open-billed stork. We call it Gendalia in Oriya. In fact, it's a resident bird and pretty much a part of our Odisha, bird folklore. The black bird you see there, that's a glossy ibis. It has a green, magenta and gold gloss on its wings, which is why it is called a glossy ibis. Until about 3 years back, these were also migratory, but about 3 years back, we noticed that a whole flock has stayed on. And ever since, they have become resident birds in Mangalajodi.
That was a morning well spent. It's a short hop from here to Satpara on the edge of Lake Chilika, Asia's largest brackish water lagoon. The Chilika Lake is another rich habitat for birds. But today, I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of what the lake is really famous for.
I'm at Satpara heading onto a boat and I hope I spot some dolphins.
Chilika is connected to the Bay of Bengal through a small opening that keeps the water here slightly saline. This area is the only place in India where the highly endangered Irrawaddy dolphin can be found. And soon enough, they're here a few meters from the boat. A recent study shows that there are about 150 of them here, the highest number in any lagoon worldwide.
It's like the weather's changing. I think it's a good time to head back.
My journey through Odisha is almost through. But I'm looking forward to the beach at Gopalpur and then an ancient secret tunnel. I'm Gurleen and I'm on a magical journey through Odisha. Today I'm at Gopalpur on the coastline, and what a lovely place it is for a peaceful walk in the morning.
It's so lovely here. I'm enjoying the peaceful, easy feeling of being on the beach.
A few kilometers away is a place that not many know about, Potagar. The literal translation of the name is Buried Fort. Anil Dheer, who showed me around Ratnagiri earlier, has come all the way here to show me around. Not much is known about the history of this fort. Muslim rulers were supposed to have built the original structure in the 17th century. Then the Danes and Portuguese held it briefly, until the French took it over in 1753. The British acquired it in 1765 and built several more buildings in the complex. This restored structure was the storage facility for gunpowder.
This one here is, out of the two, this is the older magazine. It was used to store gunpowder. They needed the gunpowder for the cannons which were fixed all around the walls, the fortifications. There were cannons facing the sea also. And because they should store the gunpowder here, the walls all around and including the roof, you can see they're just 4 feet thick, 4 feet thick. And it's so strongly built that it has survived nearly 300 years, still intact as it was in its original form.
On the opposite side, along the periphery, is another fascinating structure.
These were the stables, all these arches, they were held with the keystone.
This building, probably soldiers' barracks, has been restored to its original form.
These walls, 5 feet thick. There was a reason. This is a very monsoon-prone area. Nearly 8 months a year in those days we used to have rain. So until you really had thick walls, they wouldn't last. And now just see how it's curved the other way so the water doesn't come in. And it was built to last, and it has lasted.
Great architecture.
Then, Anil walks up to one of the most interesting parts of the fort.
This was one secret passage which went out to the river and the sea. And the locals say this is the passage used by the queen or whoever the first lady was of the fort. She used to go and have a bath in the
royal.
That's one theory. Anil has another on what this passage could have been used for.
I think this was the secret chamber used by the people to sneak in and sneak out of the fort. This here is the river. The port was here, the ships used to dock here.
During the French rule in the 18th century, this place was a thriving center for trade, and ships are said to have docked here often. Next to the fort is a small cemetery.
The big thing about this small graveyard is that you've got graves of people from 5 nationalities. There were Danish, there were Dutch, there were French, there were Portuguese, and then British. The history of the Potagad fort, I think it can be read here. You find such an amalgam of all different sort of tombs. There are obelisks, there are bottle-shaped tombs, there are, cenotaphs. So there's so many different type of, you don't find them. I haven't found them in any other cemetery in the country,
The locals here have reported ghost sightings in the cemetery. Now, I don't believe in ghosts, but it's a little late and I better get going. As all good things must end, so must this lovely trip. I've had a wonderful time in Odisha. Travel is often its own reward, and I strongly recommend that you take the time to get away.